So what's up people and welcome to the Mission 36 discussion of Spy Family. So yeah, Mission 36 came out a few days ago, and as always I will leave a link to the publisher's website, Manga Plus, where they're showing this mission for at least a few weeks. So if you're interested in looking at it, I would suggest that you go right away before they pull it back. So yeah, Mission 36 was pretty good. We're finally out of that weird tennis tournament arc. And because of that, we're back to Anya again. And this was quite interesting because I guess the best way to say it is that this is the Vogue edition of Spy Family. You see, Anya, back at school, is starting to realize that she is probably not going to get all 8 of those stellar stars to be able to get to the top of the class. And somehow, because of that, get the attention of Damien's father. I forgot what his name was. But she decides to go to plan B, which is to somehow befriend Damien. Now, of course, Becky notices this. And being Becky and the wing girl that she wants to be, she decides to help Anya by taking her out to go clothing shopping, fashion shopping, right? And so this episode is all about those two going out and the antics they have when they're fashion shopping. And so it's a very lighthearted, very wholesome chapter. But to be honest, I really enjoyed this chapter because more than the wholesomeness, I would like to say that there was a heartfelt feeling that came out of this chapter. This chapter is really not about Anya. It's more about Becky. And what I like about Tatsuya Endo's efforts these days is, you've always enjoyed Spy Family for its humor mostly. There's some action, there's some tension, and it's really well balanced, and you get a very good feeling from the family itself. Anya, Lloyd, Yor, and Bond, right? But there was, from the world was basically there to support the family, right? The families kind of reveal how they were going to bond together, and the world was basically a tool to help show that. But what Tatsuya Endo is doing is slowly building up the world. Various other characters are being introduced in a very heartfelt way. It's different from the very crazy ways so far he's introduced characters like Yuri and Fiona, Agent Nightfall, which are just wacko, right? But the thing I liked about it is in the world of Anya, there has been some very heartfelt introductions. The first one was Damien, right? We all started out hating Damien because of the fact that, well, yeah, you wanted to punch him as much as Anya did. And when Anya did, you cheered her on, right? But you later on understood that his world is not all full of roses, and there are thorns in his life, and you start understanding some of the things about him and some of the things he wants to get, right? In his case, his desire is to become closer with his family, his father, and you learn about that as you go on and the bond that he wants to make with him. In the case of Becky, you've up till now thought of Becky as this kind of giggly, happy-go-lucky, easygoing girl that always helped Anya or to some extent gave her frustration, right? And you never really thought of her as a deep character, but this one, you start understanding her side and some of the limitations that she has, despite all the wealth and all the power that comes with the family, her family. There is a feeling of loneliness for her, just like with Damien. But unlike Damien, who was desiring family, in the case of Becky, she is desiring friends. And what you find out is that, of course, Becky, as we know, is a very strong-willed and outgoing person. And because of that, she intimidates the majority of the people around her. Between her personality and the power and wealth that she has, a lot of people tend to shy away. And so what you find out is that Becky has never really had a friend in her life. And she toughs it out because that's how Becky is, and she tells people that she doesn't really need friends. She is okay with herself. But what she finds out, not from wanting this, but from realizing that this is very desirable, is her friendship with Anya. And this one really goes into that very well. You know, Anya's being Anya and going through her antics as you normally see, but Becky is going into the depth of, you know, example, really something that Anya wants to do, or is this something that Becky pushed onto her? And the thing I really liked about this is Anya's response, which was, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about the clothing shopping, but it was a lot of fun because she was with her friend. And that's basically was revealed to Becky. It was something that Becky never expected. It was not something that Becky never experienced, and it really, brought some heartfelt feelings to Becky. And so this was a very nice feel-good sort of story. And I like the balance that Tatsuya Endo brings out. There's a lot of tension from Lloyd's side with all of the spy shenanigans that's going on. And of course, I'm hoping that there's even more once we get more understanding of Yor's dark career. And then you get all that hilarious wackiness, which is the majority of Spy Family. But every once in a while, you get these feelings of really heartfelt moments. Typically, they're within the family, right? Just like the relationship with Yor and Lloyd that we saw in the last chapter. But it's now starting to expand out, and the nice thing is that it gives a balance between the, the tension, the spy side, the lighthearted humor, and these heartfelt moments. And it's really nice that the author, Tatsuya Endo, is introducing these side characters and giving them more depth by providing some of the heartfelt moments and some of the even the pains that these children are having, which gives them much more dimensionality, complexity than just the giggly characters that you often see in these sorts of comics. And so, it's a really, really nice way that this author is bringing this story. And I hope, as complex as the story continues to get, I hope that the author remains in this sort of theme for the comic, because it does give a very feel good to the entire thing. Yeah, sure, it's nice to see very dark comics and to see the pain and the dark side, right, that you would see in something like Tokyo Ghoul, that you would see in something like Chainsaw Man, or what you would see in Kimetsu no Yaiba, right, Demon Slayer. But what's nice about this is you can relax and feel somewhat safe that as much as there might be tension, as much as there might be drama, things are going to continue to be okay. And that is one thing I do like about Spy Family. It gives balance to some of the other really good dark stories, but eventually, as much as you read a lot of dark stories, it would be every once in a while nice to come back to a story like this and feel some of the lightheartedness and the heartfelt feelings that you get from this comic. Anyway, that's Mission 36. One more thing. One other character that I really liked in this story was Martha, right? Martha was I guess you could call her the nanny for Becky, right? And you start understanding, again, about the family beyond Becky. How her family, her father, her mother, which we haven't really met yet, and of course the nanny, And the nanny comes out and gives the understanding that, yes, she's trying to be a mentor while being a servant to Becky. Martha is to Becky what Alfred is to Bruce Wayne. And it's really nice to get even a very minor character like this to have that much depth in character. But anyway, that's again Mission 36. And if you're interested, please go take a look at it at Manga Plus while it's still available. And I'll continue on with more Spy Family discussions in the future. And hope you join me at that time. And until the next episode, happy manga reading. And as always, Jaya, nice day, everyone.